All right. Get this thing rocking for a little bit. See if anybody shows up. Turn this off. Turn this off for a second. That didn't work. Anyway, what's going on, world? Make sure y'all check in. It's your boy at Big Game James _36. What's up, Coach? Had a crazy, wild homecoming game yesterday. It was great. Great atmosphere. Dope was rocking as usual. Our guys eventually showed up, and they did what they were supposed to do. Everybody says, but it was just Duke, without realizing that, Duke has beat some pretty solid teams. Duke has played some really, really good football. What's up, B-Lynn? Everybody coming in. And to quote a wise man once said, good teams win games, great teams cover games. And regardless of what you want to say, the spread was 15.5. I told people to bet the spread and bet the over. And the over was, the over was right at, I think the over was 55, if I remember correctly. So we beat the spread and we beat the over as well. So there's a lot of different things that one could have probably taken, done a parlay, and a lot of good things could have accomplished with that. I see the first half was very stressful. When I go back, I would like to tell people that you should enjoy a game inside of Doak Campbell Stadium. When you go inside Doak Campbell Stadium, you don't get, unless actually you can text message people if you have an Android phone or you use the your text, but like you don't get any cell phone service inside of Doak. I think maybe people who may have AT&T might get it, but like some of us with T-Mobile, you're definitely not getting service. Excuse me, Mom. That the game took it out of me a little bit, but just I'm gonna take the opportunity to give as many updates as possible while people are still filling in here. If you have any questions on the game that you just want to know, initial thoughts, please put them in the chat. We'll make sure we answer those. A lot of people, if you haven't been looking at my social medias or national TV, my guy Jack had a fucking phenomenal time. I just caught his pops in the elevator. They're like 2 rooms down from me. And they got some breakfast. They got a chance to experience Tallahassee nightlife after a game, but not like kind of fun being in the atmosphere. They left the stadium before me, but didn't get to their room until like 2:00 in the morning. So they went to go get some food and found out how Tennessee Street was rocking. Tennessee Street was packed to capacity. So there was a lot of things that that they couldn't get done. But this weekend, Jack got to check out football practice on Friday. They have a walkthrough up-tempo type practice. Everybody talked to him. He had a chance to get some real good downtime with Jay Trav, with Jared Verse. He met Jermaine Johnson. For those who don't know, I think it's Jordan Love, the big tight end that we had a few years ago. That I think he came from UCLA. Huge guy. That was his special guest. It wasn't Dalco, but his special guest was the big. And that makes sense. They both transferred into Florida State at the same time. I'm assuming Love is on the practice squad or scout team with New York. So that's probably how they were able to make things happen. Or it could have been the fact that I guess he has a girlfriend that does some kind of reality TV that I just found out about. Caucasian isn't necessarily my persuasion, but I can vibe with how people. I like women, so I can see the beauty in a woman. So I don't know her, but she's like one of them. I'm too old for toxicity like that. I'm like I gotta play to win. I always tell people you don't want to be. It's better for us to be amicable, because you know you don't fuck around be content, messing with me. So like, there's no need to be overly toxic. But this young lady seems to be that. But if he likes it, I love it. He's a celebrity. What's the point of not being down? But Jermaine was there. He got a chance to. So I don't know if you ever seen it, but I'm not gonna put it. It's on the social media. I was gonna play it on here, but I'm not finna split all the profits for all my different channels. But like he led the band, helped me and him led the band doing the war chant. So if y'all saw that war chant was real strong in the second half, that's because of Jack. Jack had them boys and gals living proper. Shout out to my boy Grant, who's normally in the chats. There was Grant got some official footage. I'm gonna post up. Grant plays the what's he play, the trombone or the trumpet? Let me see what my guy. Those who watch the show regularly know he comments a lot. He posted. Let me go in here. Make sure I'm telling y'all right. So I want to give my dog his propers. Oh damn. Yeah. Grant Gray. Shout out to my guy. Yeah, trombone. So Grant actually has a like they got this cool shit. Like they can see the music on their phone. And so he was recording us from his trombone. We're gonna post that donation. Make sure we show it Victory Sunday. Let's go Knowles. Let's go Hollywood Big Game James. Let me find this. Let me log into my Twitter real quick while we're here. I'm gonna preach to you guys a little bit on this Sunday. I gotta spell Twitter right first. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna come to take your joy. Don't come and steal it, but I want you to count it all joy. I think that's what the people say. I was listening on my way to get my Starbucks this morning. One of my favorite pastors, old Jermaine Simmons, and Pastor Jacobs Chapel, and he had he does his little sermons here on Tallahassee 96.1 on Sundays. He wasn't talking about any of that shit. I just figured that'd be a good segue. But it's gonna be a lot of people gonna tell you that you shouldn't be happy for where you're at. And I'm gonna tell them fuck them. And this is Algernon, aka Plies, Color Money. How can I blow this up? Anyways, he says, and this is what a lot of the rivals, Florida fans, they beat the bye week, so they're excited. Miami had a good double overtime victory against Clemson, where they won. Shout out to them. They got a tough game against Virginia next week. Each loss doesn't mean anything to them. It was a random loss. Each win, we can't ever get props from them. But we're going to be adults here and say that was a good. Anytime you beat Clemson, that's a good win. But Algernon was FSU really 18 points better than Duke last night, or did things just fall apart after Riley Leonard got injured with 6:56 left in the third quarter? Duke was up 20-17 when Leonard went out. FSU put up 21 points in the fourth quarter in Leonard's absence. Leonard don't get hurt. Is it a different outcome? If my granny had a penis, would she be my granny or would she be my grandfather? It's a lot of shit like that, man. A lot of people want to play the what if games, but let's go through the game as a family. Because a lot of you guys, I'm not gonna get on Algernon too hard. Algernon Supplies, still like his music. I liked him more when he was pretending to be a gangster because it was like I was playing still. So like that music was like the soundtrack for me to get out of there. But Algernon is a great comedian now. Not as good of a rapper anymore, but a great comedian. He's like he's doing what Little Duval does, but not as good. But to his benefit, I still think he's hilarious. He's a good comedian right now. He's like Charleston White, with not the snitching part, and all that other stuff. And he played a little ball, but he didn't play a lot of ball. So, but that doesn't mean he can't have opinion. I mean, it just means his opinion isn't really. He's still not very good. But one thing I'll say is this: Riley Leonard doesn't play defense. And a lot of you, I went back and I looked at the comments. I looked at Facebook. Y'all just as bad as fucking Algernon. Like, I'm not here to tell people that you can't. Like, football is an emotional game. Life is an emotional game. That's why a lot of y'all need to watch nephew Jack Coleman. Like, because if y'all live y'all life like y'all watch football games, holy shit. Like, either you're destined to be a loser, or you're just all over the place and nobody can look for you for sound decisions. The other team, Duke is. We talked about it on the breakdown. One way Duke was going to win that game, and they accomplished that. They did a very good job of making it muddy and mucky and messy, right? And then we did a really good job of playing down to their level and not being elite like what we have the ability to do. I'm not going to say we are or we aren't. I know we have the ability to be elite. We just haven't shown that yet. Not consistently over 4 quarters. But when you're playing against a team that's inferior to you, they're going to give you your best shot. And the longer you let them hang in the game, the more of an opportunity they have to come back and beat you. And we allowed them to do that. Let's talk about the game. So the first drive, Florida State goes down. We're moving the ball. We go for it on 4th and 1. 4th and inches, if I may. And we're not tough enough to be able to play them. They played a little more scrappy there. They stop us on 4th and 1. I believe we're on the positive side of the 40, so I'm not mad at Mike for going for it that early. They take that momentum, drive down. They get a big play on us. If you go back and we'll watch it in film breakdown again tomorrow, if you're a member, about 1 o'clock, we're going to do our break. We're going to do our film breakdown. What's going on, Gators? Appreciate you being here. I'm a Gator, but this is in Primetime Mac's name. Thank you for the donation. Well, I said so. We're gonna go back and watch this on film. Kaylin, there was a lot of holes, but if it's not called, it's not called. Somebody help me. The DB from Virginia. A lot left to be desired. Good ball player, just sometimes doesn't make the plays that you would expect an experienced guy to make. Maybe he doesn't have to do that at Virginia, but we got to have him be there. Like, he should be there to make that tackle. Doesn't make the tackle, they break a 45-yard run. Happens. Big plays happen. They score. That's the only offense. So I want people to realize, Cypress, appreciate this, Mr. Smith, Fitzgerald Cypress. I want people to realize Duke's only offensive score was on the first drive. Offensive touchdown, was on the first drive. Outside of that, they kicked 2 field goals, one of which, again, we went for it on 4th down again on the next drive and got stopped, and they kicked a field goal. So they scored 10 points in the first. They scored 10 points in the second, where they went down and drove. And I want people to realize that that's it. Offensively, Duke didn't really do shit. They scored a touchdown on the first drive, and then we threw a pick 6. And I'm going to circle that. I don't know who let the ball bounce off their chest, but that's why you catch that bitch with your hands. One of the legend, the GOAT, Kevin Sullivan used to have this saying, when a wide receiver would try to catch it with the body or drop it, he would say if it was a spear, it would have killed you. Like, because if you're going to catch a spear, you got to catch that bitch with your hands. You don't want to catch a spear with the body on that. So, a lot of the stuff had nothing to do. Riley Leonard didn't do anything. It was a good defensive game, even though the points showed a little different. And then after they scored the last the pick 6, we immediately hit them with the return. Shout out to Deuce for changing the trajectory. But one of the things that's been hurting us, and I think I know why it's happening. Big games, you tend to focus in a little bit more, right? Like, the magnitude of playing Miami. The magnitude of playing Florida. It's still a little bit different because it's still fucking Duke. We played Duke 20 times. We won 20 times with an average score of 48.5 to 18.5. Like, I think we've scored 40 points all but 3 times that we played Duke, and this is one of them. But what we saw was our offense guys trying to make the one-handed catch. Should have gone up with 2. A lot of drops. You know, it's still some things to be desired from the offense. So the offense hasn't really 100% got it moving. We'll get to some of these questions. Some of these observations and questions here. If you have them, leave them in the comments. Obviously, the super chat will get read a lot quicker. Again, for those who don't know, tomorrow's Monday, so we'll have Big Games BS at 9:30. We'll also have, if you're a member, I'll drop the StreamYard link in the member section of the YouTube community. Or if you're in fifth quarter, I'll drop it into the thing on fifth quarter, so we can all go watch film as a family, so you guys can start learning what to actually look for, what people who played this thing actually look for, as opposed to other things. Also, please make sure you push the like button on this, and again, subscribe. We're trying to get this thing to over 4,000. Really, we want to, if we get to 5,000 subs before the Miami game, we'll give away 2 pairs of tickets. For those who don't know how this works, every 1,000 subs we get, we give away 10% of that in cash. So once we get to 4,000 subs, somebody will get $400, and then another winner will get the amount of likes in cash. So I believe we've had like one guy last time, somebody got $300 and somebody got $75. So once we get to 5,000, somebody will get $500, and so on and so on. And then we give away tickets every Wednesday before our home game. We give away a pair of tickets to anybody who's watching the live. So I'll make sure you do that. Some more people are talking about how they saw the moment. Marshall Wills, Big Abe, shout out to you for making kids' dream come true. Jack's dope kid. Glad he was able to do it. Great TV moment, showing your charitable spirit. Keep up the great work. Shout out to all your respect to your bartender Savion. He turned me into Savion's that dude, man. Shout out to Goodfellas. You guys know about Goodfellas. That's a sponsor of the show through me being the owner. Savion, outside of slapping the bitch, probably can't get fired. Savion's a good bartender. Little arrogant, a little cocky, but I like that. I like it. When you're good, that's something you gotta let the people know. Also, I'll be at the last Mandarin home game and show some support. Bartram lost. They got their ass stomped, I believe, but we don't play teams like Bartram very well. Like we should have beat the fuck out of Creekside. We should be undefeated. At Mandarin, for those who don't know, I coach at Mandarin High School, home of our 2025 quarterback commit, Tramel Jones. And also a couple other really good, probably be All-American. We'll have probably three All-Americans next year. One of them's brother is a walk-on. Drake Stubbs, his brother is a DB at Florida State right now, and then everybody knows Jamie French or whatnot. So give my guy, remember Hezekiah. Oh shit, man, Hezekiah. That reminds me. Hey, if you got some him candidates, we're gonna put Deuce. We're gonna give Deuce the Deuce gonna get some good gospel music behind his run. Probably gonna hit him with that 99.5. I believe his kickoff return was 99 yards. Whatever. So guys, make sure if you got some him candidates, make sure you at me on social media. I can't tell you how many of y'all added me, showed me the stuff. I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not even gonna hold you. I ain't gonna respond to all that shit. But much appreciation to everybody who gave, everybody who's a member. This is where the money goes. This is where your membership money goes. The YouTube check is good. It ain't that good for me to just go out and do something else. That's why I asked y'all to go support Goodfellas, support Alpha Male Jacks. A lot of you guys, again, in that first half, your estrogen levels were a little elevated, testosterone levels low. Let's go get that blood work checked so that you guys, stop, get that bitch about you. So y'all act like a little bitch when you're watching these football games. But again, if you're watching the game, you would have seen. I think at one point they were beating us 20-17, but they hadn't even broke 200 yards of total offense. So that lets you know that the game was to be played. A lot of stuff was still there. Hold on. People hit me up about the damn. Oh yeah. One more thing about Mandarin before I get into the game. We got Thursday. We play at Sandalwood. Unfortunately, Sandalwood is where Jack goes to school at, so we might have to whoop Jack's high school's ass, so that we could be district champs. But let's go into the box score, so that we could get an overall glimpse. Hopefully, everybody's off of the Fire Fuller train, because without Fuller, we probably, you gotta see the vibes. You see it by now. Come on. If not, you're just a fucking hater. And Hayden's hard work. Another thing too, at Big Game James _36. If you hit up at Big Game James 36, I'm not going to be able to like see it right away. I don't check that one quite as regularly. So just letting you know. Riley Leonard was 7 for 16, 69 yards passing, and 1 interception. Holy shit, we really needed him. Now, I will say this. The boy's got heart. He is a gritty player. He should go down as one of Duke's all-time best players. Outside of that, he's not. Like, he had very little effect. Shout out to Marcus, appreciate that. Very little effect on the game. Now, Big Game told y'all, if you listen to me, I told y'all it was 2 guys on their offense that I was worried about. That was 7 and 9. And 7 and 9 did their thing. They did a good job. 110 yards or more. That's 7. That's number 9, excuse me. He had the long run. Waters had 13 carries, 39 yards. He had a big run, one big run, 14-yard run. And anytime a Coleman's on the field, they're gonna make plays. I didn't even know about Lil Cuz. Lil Cuz was over there. He had 7 carries. He had most of his rushing yards for the year came in this game. But he had 30 yards on 4 carries. But Leonard did some things with his legs. He was able to move a little bit better than what I thought he was going to do. But here's what I want people to realize too. And I was, one of the benefits of being a former player, and regardless of what you guys believe about me, I don't really think I'm that great, because I'm a fan and I notice all of the stuff. I have a case maybe for top 5, top 10, but obviously I was top 5 fullback. So but I want to say this. I got a chance to talk with Corey Simon, All-American D tackle, first-round pick, Philadelphia Eagles. And I was asking, it's like, why does it just seem like, why does Fisk never seem to be like make tackles for loss? Never goes downhill. And the way our defensive scheme, he said, it seems that they're 2 gapping. So what that means is 1 gap, you can shoot that gap. Only thing you got to worry about is winning that gap. Now, screens, other stuff, quarterbacks that are scrambling makes you more susceptible to it if the quarterback's able to move around and do some damage. But when you don't do that and you're playing an attacking offensive line, it does make you more susceptible to holds, different things like that. And so a lot of things that we see and we're like, yo, that's a hold. We're not wrong, but the technique doesn't let it show a little like the way it needs to in the interior, which I would love to see us get more push and more belly there. But, you gotta go with how to get this the scheme is. 76 yards passing. I'm gonna be honest with you, like that's not an effective way to win a football game. Not in modern football. You've got to be able to get over 200 yards in the passing game. All in total, I think I've told you guys what Mickey Andrews and the guys what they used to have, and I was trying to find it in the locker room when we did our tour, they have special teams goals, but they don't have a thing where they have like defensive goals. But the goal used to be to hold a team under 300 yards of total offense, and that's a win. And we held them to 273 yards of total offense. So you'll typically win games like that. We held them to. So if you remember going back to the breakdowns, what we did was what every team that they've played that's been better than them did, except for we came out with the victory. Clemson outgained them, out first down them, out time of possession them. Notre Dame, based upon what the stats were, Notre Dame should have beat them by 3 scores, just like we did. A lot of the other teams that they've played that have been quality, they just were able to get one. I think Duke is is a pretty good opponent. It was like watching somebody that had no. It's like when you watch a good heavyweight bout, and the guy who they're fighting has absolutely no chance of winning this match, but they give him a really good go in the first early rounds, and that's the Duke game. And you still beat. I want people to realize this. This is how good this team can be, and I can understand the frustration at times. We have yet to play a full game, and we've still dominated most of the teams that are on our schedule. Outside of Boston College and Clemson, and even with BC, we just didn't knock BC out, and they're more of a scrappier team than what people gave them credit for. They're 4-3. They're 2 games away from potentially landing themselves in a bowl game. Which, who would have thought that starting off the season? Shout out to them doing some incredible things up there. But I'm going to get into this here in a second. I want to, I want people to just check this out right here with the landscape of what the ACC was going on in the ACC. Yeah, it's not letting me get what I wanted to. So North Carolina was undefeated. They just lost to Virginia. And we talk about this like they were like in a position where, Virginia led for most of the game. And they lost 31-27. We are the only fan base that gets ridiculed for almost winning games, and other people get credit for losing games. I just want y'all to realize how wild that shit sounds. We go up and play against the Wake Forest team next week. That's scrappy. Just beat Pitt, who's is trying to find some stuff. Boston College 38-23. Any Miami fan that gives you shit, just tell them, remember, we beat Boston College, and they just beat the team that beat them in Georgia Tech, and they still got to play Boston College at Boston. That's why they should have made that red bandana game the Miami game. But anyway, so the second half of the Duke game, you just get frustrated during that time because time is slipping away, but they're not scoring. They're not scoring, but we're not scoring either. So that kind of gives you some hope. But then that fourth quarter is when you started to see us be who we were, and that quarterback was spooked. The other kid was spooked. That lets you know we were playing good defense the whole time. And we go score 3 touchdowns. J. Trav accounts for 3 of the touchdowns this game. Deuce accounts for one of them with the kickoff return. Rodney Hill got us one. Damn, I thought it was I don't know why I thought that was CJ that scored on that, CJ Campbell, but it was Rodney. Keziah Holmes. Both the running backs got the touchdowns. Still more drops than I would like. I need y'all to stop saying shit like we're trying to go for the 50-50 ball all the time. I want you to realize that when J. Trav gets stuck, you know what he's doing, what you guys suggested, look down the middle. Because really, our outsides are there. Even if the deep ball isn't there, the swing route is there. But we got some brotherly violence going on in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different receivers, 27 completions, 36, 36 passes. Let's see what that math is. It's still right around that same 60% range, I believe. 27 divided by 36. Oh shit, no way. God, God damn. One of the numbers indicate that what a lot of you guys are saying is inherently wrong. He's not locking into one person. He's spreading the ball around. He's not inaccurate. 75% completion rating is not fucking inaccurate. That is amazing. Like, you're not supposed to do that. 60. The goal is to be over 65 is elite. He threw for over 250 and he rushed for over 65. Somebody posted it in the chat, and I've said this since last year. And the best thing that he's doing right now, he's not waiting. I mean, he's doing it. Like last year, he refused to do it against Clemson. Do it against State enough. And right now, he's using his legs. When J-Trav uses his legs, J-Trav is fucking unstoppable. He accounts for he makes up for bad plays by just using his legs. And it's absolutely incredible to watch him. A couple times I think slid too early, but then again, I'm not taking those hits right now, so I ain't mad at him. But he's Till Dog, what's wrong with our fans is that it doesn't always look flawless. That's the beautiful thing about football. Nothing looks flawless. It's not supposed to look flawless. It's man. Oh shit, boy! I'm about to preach here. Like some of y'all, this is why I have a problem with Christianity. It's not anything wrong with Christians. It's just that Christians look at everything in life outside of them has to be perfect, when the nature of man is flawed. There's only one person who's ever walked this, allegedly, if you believe the narrative, that's walked this planet flawless and blameless. Everything has flaws. You know what you guys paid thousands, if not millions of dollars for? Is a diamond. And you know the diamonds that are worth more have fucking flaws. Like, it's like, what do you like? It's supposed to look like that. Like when people said the play that I love that made me really get into wanting to do the film breakdown, where everybody said, why did he throw the Mega Mind? And when Destin Hill was open, or they said 4 guys were open. I'm like, do you know how fucking bad it has to be for everybody to be open on an offensive play? Like, that only happens on video games. It does not happen in real life. Like, the guys that you think are open, you're seeing from one camera angle that they're following the person. Like, that's why it looks like they're open. It's not that obvious to see from field level with bullets flying after you. Actually, I want to know how good a lot of you, I don't know if they still have it because I don't play video games like that anymore, but Madden used to have field level. So I want y'all to play the game from field level and see how accurate you are. Or put on get you the Oculuses and play the quarterback thing and see how few of you guys complete passes. It's different from the field level. That's why I like so when I tell you why I like watching the game from up high, it's because you can see everything from up high. You can see route progressions. You can kind of get an idea based upon where his head is, where his reads are. Like, I'm sorry, if my first reads take me to the left, I don't give a fuck how open the buddy is to the right. I can't see it. It doesn't work like that. But, a lot of it, I believe, is rooted in everybody wanting FSU to be as great as possible. But if you watch as much football as I get to watch on a week-to-week basis, and especially on a Saturday when I'm not at a game, you'll see that Ain't a lot of actually. Let's look. Like Michael Penix Jr. up to the point, best quarterback in the nation. What did he throw for? Well, just for those who don't know, he barely beat the fighting Kenny Dillingham's in with Arizona State. Let me go. I want to check out y'all fair because again, this is just so people can realize I'm not using them to excuse anything. I'm just using this um, as an indicator. Ohio State, Penn State, top 10 teams, right? Terrible, shitty. If you want to see shitty quarterback play, you should go watch that game. Drew Allar, one of the best quarterbacks people have been talking about. He was 18 for 42. I'll save you having to do the calculation. He was under 50% completion, 191 yards. 22 for 35, Kyle McCord. Now, this game ended up being better, 286 yards. He only threw for one touchdown, so he was obviously a check down shorty that game. Dylan Gabriel, let's see what he does. He barely beat UCF at 3-14. They're 7-0 at home. Just so people know, like legitimately, barely won. If they didn't have to, UCF had to go for 2. UCF had their chances. Dylan Gabriel, pretty good game here. 25 for 38, 253 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Really on par with Jay Trav. Dylan Gabriel is supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks. Just again, for perspective. What did Bo Nix do? Bo Nix, a Heisman Trophy candidate, barely got out of there alive against Washington State. Their quarterback did numbers. Bo Nix, 18 for 25, 293 yards, much higher average, 2 touchdowns. I ain't mad at that. Didn't do anything with his legs, but they don't play defense out that way. Trying to get to Texas quarterback, supposed to be one of the better quarterbacks. Just again, perspective, context matters. Quinn Ewers, 23 for 29, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, check down shorty in a 31-24 matchup against University of Houston. What is the quarterback that everybody says the best? It's probably going to be the number 1 overall pick who just lost. Drake Mays, 24 for 48. For those doing math, that's right at 50%. 347 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Just so y'all know, that's 50% is highly inaccurate against the University of Virginia. Very ass team. Just let me know if y'all are getting the point. If y'all understand what I'm coming at, y'all can tell me, and I'll make sure I can keep moving. Caleb Williams, what Caleb talk about, man? I know Caleb did numbers, even though they lost. We can always have this 24 for 34, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Anybody trade that? J-Trap? Nope. All right, cool. I didn't think so. Here it is. Michael Penix Jr., 27 for 42, 275 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I say all that to say is you guys, that is who's some of the best quarterback. Those are the guys that everybody's jacking and sucking off and getting and swallowing the gravy. And it's making y'all believe that your quarterback isn't doing what he's supposed to do when the numbers suggest he's on par with them, if not better than most. It's like you have to erase the narrative when presented with facts. It's like, but I don't have forever like I did with Fuller for you guys. Like, enjoy it. It's impossible for you to enjoy the game if you live and you die by each play. Players don't even do that. That's why, if players did that, if players like lived and died on each play, they would have lost that game to Duke. You have to take each play as it comes and forget it. And what happens is at the end, when you total everything up, when you look at it, you're like, damn, I played better than I thought I did. Or you might have played worse. But one thing we used to always say, nothing is as bad or as good as it seems. It's typically, it just is what it is, man. Yeah, Gabriel is good. Marcus, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Gabriel's really good. I mean, the numbers suggest that there's only one team right now, Penn State. Well, it would have been that has an active streak of 30 plus points or more. That's Florida State. We had 13 straight. This question that we on. South Carolina Noel states, what's up with the play calling? The first half going for it on your own 30. Something good game, though. Got to start faster. A lot of it is just, again, anybody who's listened to me the last under the Mike Norvell era, his Mike has put Fuller in some fucking precarious situations. And I think a lot of it has to do with trusting your defense, trusting your guys, and really having faith that they're going to get themselves out of the situation. I understand the first one more than I understand the second. And doing it early, you have an opportunity to make up for it make up for more than you have doing it later in games. I love being aggressive early on. I do think sometimes he gets too conservative, like the middle of that middle second quarter, beginning of the third, and that kind of shows up in the play calling and some of the schemes. I'll know more. Again, if I'm giving you guys my perception based upon being on the field. So at a game, especially in one with like this, in which I had somebody who I was basically hosting, I did not get a chance to really go through and thoroughly look at the stuff that I wanted to. I can tell you a lot more about what happened in the middle of the third to the fourth quarter than I can before that. It's so that's why tomorrow when I do my breakdown, it'll probably be, if you're a member, we'll do it at 1:00 tomorrow. It'll probably be more beneficial for you to watch that if you really want to know, because we'll watch it together. We'll watch the condensed version. There'll be some plays that are missed on the condensed version, but they get most of the game. We'll go through that. You can ask questions in real time there. That will also be posted around 6, 7 o'clock at night for those who aren't members, so you can watch it and enjoy it as well. I really like doing the Monday morning quarterback thing, and then breakdown. Then we'll do a Wake Forest breakdown on Thursday. We'll watch 2 of the games there. So I'm saying all of this stuff to say is that 7-0 is tough to beat. I think with some of you guys, not everybody, I'm just saying this as negativity is easier to be, and we've been like that for so long that we can't even embrace the positive when it slaps us in the face. We don't have to be like what other fan bases are right now. Like right now, no matter what Florida does, they're not going to beat Georgia next weekend, and they're probably not going to be in the SEC championship, which means they don't have a chance to be in the New Year's Six Bowl, which also means they don't have a chance to be in the college football playoff. Miami, because of how things are shaked out, Miami controls their own destiny. They win and they're in. Even if they beat us, more than likely that will put everybody at one loss. And Louisville plays Miami. Miami plays all of the teams in the top. So like they have a tough road to hoe, but if they win out, they get a chance to go to Charlotte. So they have a little bit more to play for, even though they all know it's false bravado. They lost to Dyke. Emory Williams played that game, played a pretty conservative game, but they won nonetheless in double overtime. Defense played very, very tough, which I also think matchups make fights. Miami's aggressive defense is a lot different than Duke's defense. So there's a lot of plays to be made, especially quick, early, and often. So, it's a reason we beat the fuck out of them last year. I'm not saying we're going to beat the fuck out of them again this year, but I'm just letting people know that wasn't a fucking coincidence. So we'll keep posted on that, keep track of that. Outside of that, if there's any other questions that anybody has, this would be the time. Appreciate the guys signing up for memberships. Appreciate everybody with the super chat donations. I'm not gonna make this about UF and UGA, but that's a well. Let's discuss that tomorrow at 9:30. Let's talk about that on Big Games BS and throughout the week. I'm curious to people's thoughts. I don't see UF. I don't see UF beating UGA, but that's a good. That's a. I don't know what the point spread is, but I think I wouldn't bet the points on it though. I don't think UGA is whooping anybody's ass. Um, but if anybody has any other questions, comments, or concerns, I know I didn't cover everything. Chris says I do too good of a job of answering all the fucking questions and shit that y'all be having, and I'll be like, damn, I ain't that good of a teacher. Can we get one shout out for the Tits for Fix campaign? Can we put some respect on my defensive coordinator's name? Can we get a little campaign going on with that? Like, can we do it? The D is Fuller. The D, something like the D is Fuller due to Alpha Male Jackson, something like that, or Fuller's D is penetrating, something like that. Something like that on Twitter. Make my defensive coordinator know he's that guy. What do you think is holding Deuce back from seeing the field on offense? Plain and simple. Shit. He's not better than Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman. He plays, those are the positions that he plays. So people got to remember, got three, really four, but three different types of wide receivers. So Jaheim Bell is good enough to play. He's the Y. Sometimes you put a wide receiver out there, but he's really a wide receiver that can also block. So there's only so many. He doesn't play every position on the field. So he's got to be able to, do more. But I think special teams is the way you do it. And I think next year he's going to be a guy that we'll see really step up and make a lot of plays for us next year, or even as the season comes along. Like, it's just another thing. Not saying you, my guy, Young Bleak. Shout out for the question for that. I keep seeing people say that J Trav needs to not focus on guy, even though the overall numbers show that he probably distributes the ball probably too generously. And if you look at every team in the nation, there's typically 1 to 2 wide receivers who get a majority of the catches and the targets. For some reason, our fan base, and I think it's because we're afraid to lose people to the portal, we feel like we got to give everybody the ball. And it's only one football. That's how it works, man. I don't really know how else to go. I'm feeling this hoodie too. It's a lightweight hoodie, like my gray one. Like, so I can. This isn't like when it gets too cold. Like, it was a little Frio last night. At the end of the game, this ain't gonna do nothing to stop wind and make you warm. But it is fly as shit. But yeah, my biggest thing, Young Bleak, is that we're loaded at wide receiver. Do you think Philly at this point should start over Benz? I think we should continue to do the running back by committee and go with who has the hot hand. But Philly has been seeing has been running a lot better than Benson at times. I don't know what's going on with Trey. Can you please tell your fellow members of the media that Deuce's name is pronounced Span, not Spawn? So, yeah, they're gonna do what they want to do. The media, that's y'all people, man. Y'all be supporting the fuck out of these boys that don't support y'all. Yeah, like I always joke with people, like, I like where we're at right now. We will grow, it will blow up, but ain't nobody gonna give y'all money, giving y'all tickets, throwing tailgates, trying to encourage you guys to party, that you meet former players that actually want to be there and aren't just there because they're getting the check. So, like, it's a big difference between hanging out with cats that want to be there because they respect you, and guys who are there to just get a check. So, I always tell people, man, like, that's why I fuck with Chris with Sporadics. Chris doing shit the right way. That's why I fuck with my little bro, CJ Wilson. CJ out this thing doing things the right way. A lot of these guys, their arrogance is only in the power that you give them. They did not earn it. People might think I'm arrogant, and I mean, I don't think I'm arrogant. Confident as fuck, yes, but not arrogant. But you can't take away the 10 touchdowns that I scored. I scored in both of them end zones at Doak Campbell, and I bled and sweat on that field. Whether like we have 47 or more, I think we've had 55 at one point. In here, watch the chat. Whether this gets to over 1,000 or not, I fucking I know what I'm talking about because I lived it. So I could walk on the sideline. That's why I could do a lot of the different things that I do. The other guys, the only reason they have a platform. And so, like, I remember somebody talked about on CJ's, like, don't you need the fans? You're mad at the fans. And I'm like, not mad at the fans per se. I'm mad at who the fans give attention to because it makes for fucking terrible takes. So I get angry and upset at bad takes because I can tell who you're listening to. And what I suggest with that is that, without you, now other groups need the fans in order to be who they are because you're the only ones who give them credibility. My credibility comes on the fact that I think I played in 10 ESPN Classic games. Yeah. So like, I have a touchdown that a lot of people talk to me about still. So like it's and I have a candor that, and when I don't know something, I have no problem telling people that I don't know it and I said it wrong. Or I was wrong about it. And I'll go ask the questions. I'm not gonna just tell. That's why I say I'm not gonna just tell you full of stinks without looking at the film. And then when I'm listening to why people say it, I'm like, well, if you have 4 missed tackles on a play, at what point do we say like, hey, maybe the players just didn't make a play and they were in position? So, same thing now. And I like Mike. Mike's my guy, but I can say I need to get the ball to the fucking fullback or we need to get tougher in short yardage situations. But I'm going to say that. And then, but best believe the next time I get an opportunity to be around these guys, I'm going to ask what their opinion is and what are means and manners in which we have to make that better, which I think is dope. And plus, a lot of the shit that I get told, I don't even tell y'all. A lot of the shit, like some of the stuff is kind of cool. Wi-Fi was tripping a little bit. Myron Rowe was my favorite player, but the 2 receivers y'all have, man, another level. Johnny Wilson and Keon. Somebody asked me if I was Keon Coleman's dad. I'm like, well, because I think he's 20, and it hasn't been quite 20 years since I was in, and I don't think I ain't had no one night stands when it was in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl, so I don't think he's mine. But he's definitely a relative somewhere down the line. You know, all jokes aside, people who don't know, I'm gonna get history major here. I love dark humor too. I don't think Coleman was the last name that the people who brought like the first ancestor I had that was brought over on the ship. I'm pretty sure his last name, he or she's last name wasn't Coleman, but 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 I did used to say that us Colemans are some breeding Negroes. So like, if you want to get a good athlete, you gotta get with a Coleman, and it definitely looked like it's I guess holding true right now with little one from New Orleans. So I don't want to call guys my sons. I call them nephew. I ain't gonna say they're little bro because I'm way too old for my mama. My mama wasn't one of them old women having kids. She stopped at 28, I think. So yeah, cause she was 24 when she had me, and she stopped at 28. So we're gonna just call him nephew right now. Good morning, positive vibe, big game in chat. What you do for people is awesome. I appreciate it, man. I think if everybody did that, all y'all got something live and dope that you have access to. If you do that for one person, man, you'd be surprised at how the world goes, man. I ain't gonna hold you, Chad. It probably is another Coleman out there somewhere. Like, I am my father's child. I found out, for those who don't know, I actually have another brother and sister that I didn't find out about until about still '09. I found out in 2009. Alex and Josh. Josh with the both of them went to Lincoln. They actually, I think, were like 5 miles from my mama's house. If that. And my mom doesn't live in the neighborhood I grew up in, so it's probably about 10 miles. Like, I used to hang out in the neighborhood that they grew up in. Me and the guys on the block, well, whatever. Apparently, some of her uncles know who I am and came up and they know my father. Her younger uncles are probably closer in age than I am to her, but my father and whatnot. So you know, actually, Alex hit me up, text me about a couple weeks ago. She's in nursing school, actually in Jacksonville, but I've seen her only a couple of times. But like when she told me that, she's like, I think we may have the same dad, and I told her, knowing my father, that's not out of the realm of possibility. As I know the man, and there ain't no shadow of a doubt. If James Coleman can act weird and wild about my sister, that motherfucker can't act weird and wild about me. People say we look. I don't think it anymore. When I didn't have any hair and I didn't have any facial hair, like, I believe we look just alike. Like, we have the same smile, same cadence and voice. That's why, there's a certain thing about nurture, but nature you can't. Like, you can't. My sons might not look like me, but them motherfuckers act just like me. And they too young to have the nurture part of it. Like, Trey came out the womb. Like, people think I'm unemotional. Trey don't give you nothing at all. Like, Trey is a stone cold killer when it comes to that. And then killer is the part where y'all see the fun loving part of me. That's killer all day, every day. That's more of not an act. It's real, but like, it takes a lot out of me to do that. To be like, I'm an introverted extrovert. If that makes sense. I have to plug in and like I have to. Killer is from the time he wakes up, he's on go 24/7. I'm more like Trey. We're like I don't ask for attention. Attention just tends to find us. And once he gets the attention, that motherfucker ain't getting off of him. But that's my wild child, though. I love him. But right now Coleman's not mine, but he's a cool kid though. I did enjoy kicking it with him. But other than that, if there are no more football related questions, remember, stuff like this is for the BS. So I love it. We got Big Games BS tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., 1 p.m. breakdown. Remember, got to go to the YouTube community. You can check out the chat. The chat will say the link for you to go into for the StreamYard. And then you got to put your email address or some shit in. You got to register. But it's real easy. It brings you to the StreamYard. It's like a seminar. We'll watch it. Then we'll upload it to YouTube a little bit later. Then so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30, Big Games BS. No tickets given away on this Wednesday show. Friday, we have the call-in show. So the members community will have that. Tomorrow we will announce, I owe Adrian $50. Tomorrow we will announce who won the college football pick'em. If you're a member, you have to be an active member to be able to get the money for the college football pick'em. So y'all ass better be renewing and goddamn membership. Some of y'all, that all in ain't renewed. So if that all in ain't renewed, then you ain't all in no more. So that all in gotta flip over, gotta carry it over. But but outside of that, man, appreciate everybody. Next tailgate tickets should go on sale Monday or Tuesday for the Miami game. We're gonna make that one. That's going to be the last tailgate that we host this year. We want that one to be as dumb as Orlando is, except for we got way more control over what happens in Tallahassee than we did in Orlando. So on that note, you guys be blessed. Have a great Sunday, man. Fuck them trolls. 7-0 is hard to come by. We're undefeated, unconquered, untied. Until the next time.